You better call Ghostbusters. Who you gonna call?
You know that song playing at your aunt's cookout every single summer? Somebody stole it. That slow jam you and your girl danced to at prom? The person who wrote it never saw a dime.
Oh, yeah, she is. Come on now, baby. Oh, you ready?
12 R&B and soul artists, some of them legends, some of them names you've never heard, who took other people's songs and called them their own. Some got sued, some got exposed, and some, they got away with it for decades. But here's what's wild. A few of these artists didn't just steal from strangers. They stole from people in the same studio, same session, same group. And when the real writers came looking for their credit, one of them was told, and this is a direct quote from court testimony, "Don't come back here or I'll have to kill you." That's not an exaggeration. That's the music industry in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. These are the stolen songs, the erased names, and the receipts that finally came due.
I'm gonna give you my love. I'm gonna give you my love.
Number 12, Ray Parker Jr., Ghostbusters, 1984.
There's something strange in your neighborhood.
The movie Ghostbusters needs a theme song. The producers go to Huey Lewis first. He says no. He's already working on Back to the Future. But here's the thing. They tell Ray Parker Jr. exactly what they want. They want something that sounds like Huey Lewis. And Ray delivered. Maybe a little too well.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
When Ghostbusters dropped, it went straight to number 1. Stayed there for 3 weeks. But Huey Lewis heard it and immediately knew that opening riff, the structure, the groove, it was I Want a New Drug.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
His song, released just months earlier, Lewis sued. And here's what most people don't know. They settled out of court, confidential terms. Parker was supposed to keep quiet about the whole thing, but in a 2015 interview, he let it slip that Lewis won a settlement. Then Lewis sued him again for violating the confidentiality agreement. You can't make this up. The song that defined a generation of summer blockbusters, it was borrowed, and Ray Parker Jr. has been paying for it literally ever since.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Number 11, Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams, Blurred Lines. And this one changed the music industry forever. Robin Thicke and Pharrell Williams, two of the biggest names in R&B. In 2013, they released Blurred Lines. It becomes the song of the summer. Number 1 for 12 weeks, made them millions. But Marvin Gaye's family heard something familiar. Too familiar. They said it sounded exactly like Marvin's 1977 classic, Gotta Give It Up. Now here's where it gets messy. In interviews, Thicke admitted on record that he told Pharrell, "One of my favorite songs of all time is Marvin Gaye's Gotta Give It Up. We should make something like that." That quote would come back to haunt him. You know, the case went to trial. The jury sided with the Gaye family. The verdict? Nearly $5 million, plus 50% of all future royalties from Blurred Lines, forever. And if you're thinking, well, lots of songs sound similar, you're right, that's what's scared. The entire industry, over 200 artists, including Jennifer Hudson, signed a letter warning this verdict was dangerous. They said it would let people own a vibe, a feeling. But the ruling stood. And now every producer in the game thinks twice before they chase that classic Motown sound, because Marvin Gaye's family is watching. Real talk. Only 9% of you watching this are actually subscribed. That hurts a little, not gonna lie. We spend hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life because this music deserves to be remembered. And you're here because you care about that too. So if these videos mean something to you, if you've ever said, damn, I didn't know that, or felt something while watching, just hit subscribe. It's free, takes 2 seconds, and it tells YouTube to show this to more people who love this music like we do. Let's build this together. All right, back to the story. Number 10, Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, 1982. Now, before you click away, this one comes from someone who actually knew him, someone who was in the room, Quincy Jones. In 2018, Quincy Jones did an interview that shocked the music world. He said Michael stole a lot of stuff. He stole a lot of songs. The song he specifically called out, Billie Jean. Jones said the opening bass line of Billie Jean was lifted from Donna Summer's State of Independence, a song Jones himself had produced earlier that same year. Same extended synthesized bass intro, same groove. And Michael had actually sung backup on Summer's track. He knew that song inside and out. Jones also said Michael was greedy and should have given keyboardist Greg Fillinganes a writing credit on Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. The man played key parts of the song, got nothing. Now, Michael's family pushed back hard. Joe Jackson called Quincy jealous. But here's the thing. Jones wasn't some bitter outsider. He was the man who made Michael a solo superstar. He produced Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. He had no reason to lie, and he waited until Michael was gone to say it, which makes you wonder what else got borrowed in those sessions that we'll never know about. Number 9, Morris Levy. Why Do Fools Fall in Love? 1956. And this one isn't about an artist. It's about the man who stole from them, Morris Levy. If you don't know that name, you should. He was connected to the Genovese crime family. He owned Roulette Records, and he had a habit of putting his name on songs he never wrote. In 1956, a group of teenagers from Harlem wrote a song called Why Do Birds Sing So Gay? They changed it to Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Why do birds sing so gay? Frankie Lyman sang lead. It became a smash hit, #1 R&B, top 10 pop. But here's what happened to the writing credits. Originally, it listed the kids who actually wrote it, Herman Santiago and Jimmy Merchant. Then George Goldner, the first label owner, put his name on it. When Levy bought Goldner's company in 1959, he swapped out Goldner's name for his own. Morris Levy never heard that song until after it was a hit. He wasn't in the studio. He didn't write a single word, but his name stayed on the credits for decades. In 1987, Santiago and Merchant finally sued. 30 years later, the court ruled they were the real writers, but then it got overturned on a technicality. They'd waited too long to file. So today, the song is still officially credited to Frankie Lyman and Morris Levy, a man who threatened to kill the real writers if they ever came back for their money. Sometimes the system doesn't just fail, it protects the thieves. Number 8, George Harrison, My Sweet Lord, 1970. My sweet Lord. The Quiet Beatle, the spiritual one, the one who seemed above all the industry games. But in 1970, he released My Sweet Lord, his first solo single. It went straight to number one, a beautiful ode to faith and devotion. There was just one problem. It sounded exactly like the Chiffons' 1963 hit, He's So Fine. The melody, the structure, note for note, the publisher of He's So Fine sued. And here's where it gets complicated. The court didn't say George consciously stole the song. They invented a new term for what he did: subconscious plagiarism. The judge ruled that Harrison had heard He's So Fine so many times that when he sat down to write, the melody came out of his memory without him realizing where it came from. He wasn't a thief. He was just too good a listener. The case dragged on for years. George eventually had to pay over $500,000, which in 1976 money was massive. John Lennon's response? Cold. Or he said, baby's timid. Maybe George thought God would let him off. And here's what hurts. George never denied the similarity. He wrote in his autobiography that the two songs were virtually identical. He just didn't know it when he wrote it. That's the danger of loving music too much. Sometimes it comes back out and you don't even know whose it is.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you some backup. Dozen agents headed your way.
Number 7, LED Zeppelin, Stealing from Willie Dixon, 1969-1985. Now I know what you're thinking. This is supposed to be R&B, but stay with me because the songs they stole, they were R&B, blues, the foundation of everything you love about soul music. Willie Dixon was a legend. He wrote for Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Etta James. He was the architect of Chicago blues, and Led Zeppelin helped themselves to his catalog like it was a buffet. Whole Lot of Love. The lyrics came straight from Dixon's You Need Love, recorded by Muddy Waters in 1962. Zeppelin didn't credit him. It took a lawsuit in 1985, 16 years later, for Dixon to finally get his name on the song.
Shake for me, yeah. I wanna be your backdoor man.
Bring It On Home. They took the intro and outro directly from Sonny Boy Williamson's version, a Willie Dixon composition. Had to settle that one too, and it wasn't just Dixon. The Lemon Song, lifted from Howlin' Wolf's Killing Floor, they settled out of court. Here's the pattern. Black blues and R&B artists wrote these songs, got paid pennies, then a British rock band covered them, changed a few words, didn't credit anybody, and made millions. When people talk about cultural appropriation in music, this is ground zero. And the tragic part, most of those original artists were dead or broke by the time the lawsuits finally paid out. The money came too late. The recognition came too late. The songs live forever. The people who wrote them, they're footnotes now. Number 6, Big Mama Thornton, Hound Dog, 1952. And this story will make you want to throw something. In 1952, Big Mama Thornton recorded Hound Dog. It went to number 1 on the R&B chart, stayed there for 7 weeks, sold 500,000 copies, made her a star. But here's what she got paid. According to her own account, one check for $500. That's it. For one of the biggest R&B hits of the decade. She didn't write the song. That was Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller, who were teenagers at the time. But her version, the one that made it a hit, the one with the grit and the growl and the attitude, she owned that. Then Elvis happened. In 1956, Elvis Presley recorded his version of Hound Dog. Different arrangement, different lyrics, made it about an actual dog. It sold 10 million copies and became one of the most iconic rock and roll songs ever. Elvis got famous. Colonel Tom Parker got rich. The label got paid. Big Mama Thornton, she spent the rest of her life telling anyone who would listen that Elvis got rich off her song. You made me feel so blue. She never saw another dime from it. And when she died in 1984, her weight had dropped from 350 pounds to 95. Complications from alcoholism. She had almost nothing. The woman who made Hound Dog a hit died broke, while the version that copied hers became immortal. If you've ever wondered why Black artists are protective of their work, this is why. Number 5, the Teenagers lost credit for their own song, 1956. And we're going back to Why Do Fools Fall in Love? But this time, we're telling it from the kids' side. Herman Santiago and Jimmy Merchant were teenagers, literal teenagers. They found some love letters in an apartment building. One of them had the line, "Why do birds sing so gay?" They turned that line into a song. Frankie Lyman wasn't even supposed to sing lead. He was the youngest guy in the group. But on the day of the audition, the original lead singer was sick. Frankie stepped in. The rest is history. The song sold 3 million copies. What did Santiago and Merchant receive? One check, $1,000, split between them, for a song that generated hundreds of thousands in royalties. When they asked for more, Morris Levy, the record exec, allegedly told Herman Santiago, "Don't come down here anymore, or I'll have to kill you or hurt you." That's not metaphor. That's what they testified in court. For 30 years, those kids, now grown men, watched other people get rich off their creation. They watched Diana Ross remake it in 1981 and take it back to the top 10. They watched it get used in movies, commercials, everywhere. In 1992, they finally won in court. A judge ruled they were the rightful co-authors. But in 1996, it got reversed. Statute of limitations. They'd waited too long to fight for what was theirs. So technically, legally, to this day, Jimmy Merchant and Herman Santiago are not listed as the writers of the song they literally wrote. That's the music industry in the 1950s, and some would say not much has changed. Number 4, Chuck Berry and John Lennon Come Together, 1969. John Lennon, and the song he admitted he borrowed. Come Together is one of the most iconic Beatles songs ever recorded. Come together right now. That opening bass line, that slow, nasty groove. Here come old Flat Top, he come grooving up slowly. But that opening line, it came straight from Chuck Berry's 1956 song, You Can't Catch Me. Here come up Flat Top, he was moving up with me. Not similar, nearly identical. And Chuck Berry's publisher, Big 7 Music, noticed immediately. They sued. Now here's where it gets wild. The settlement required Lennon to record 3 songs from Big Seven's catalog on his next album. That was the deal. 3 covers. That's how you make it right. But Lennon only recorded 2. He didn't finish the commitment. So Big Seven sued him again for breach of contract. And while all this legal drama was happening, Morris Levy, the same Morris Levy, got his hands on some demo tapes from Lennon's sessions. He released them without permission as an album called Roots. Lennon turned around and sued him. By the end of it all, money was flying everywhere. Lennon paid, Levy paid, lawyers got rich, and a song about peace and love started because John Lennon couldn't resist borrowing from Chuck Berry. The irony, Chuck Berry was one of the most sampled and copied artists in rock history, and he spent his whole career fighting to get paid for it. Some things in this industry never change. Number 3, Little Richard and Pat Boone, The Great Cover Robbery, 1955 and 1957. Now this one isn't about a lawsuit. There was no court case, no settlement, and that's exactly the problem. In 1955, Little Richard released Tutti Frutti. It was raw, wild. Unlike anything on the radio, it should have been massive everywhere, but white radio stations wouldn't play it. So the industry found a solution. Pat Boone, clean cut, white, safe. He recorded a cover of Tutti Frutti that smoothed out all the edges, and his version went to number 12 on the pop chart. Little Richard's version, number 17. They did it again with Long Tall Sally. Same strategy, same result. Pat Boone's sanitized version got the radio play. Little Richard's original got pushed aside. It wasn't illegal. That's the sick part. Covers were legal then. You didn't need permission, you just needed to pay a mechanical royalty, which was pennies. But what got stolen wasn't money. It was cultural credit. It was history. Pat Boone got introduced to audiences as the guy who sang those songs. Little Richard got treated like he was copying the white version. Mike Stoller, the songwriter we talked about earlier, said it best. Pat Boone didn't really love the music. He didn't have to. He just had to be white. And if you think this sounds like ancient history, look at the samples and interpolations in modern pop. Look at who gets credit. Look at who gets forgotten. Some patterns are older than we want to admit. Number 2, Sam Cooke, You Send Me, 1957.
Darling, real.
And this story is different because this time the artist himself gave away the credit on purpose. In 1957, Sam Cooke wrote You Send Me. It became his breakthrough hit, number 1 on the pop chart, number 1 on the R&B chart.
I know when you hold me.
It made him a crossover superstar, the first black solo artist to top the pop chart in the rock era.
Now I find myself wanting to marry.
But if you look at the original single, the songwriter listed isn't Sam Cooke. It's Charles L.C. Cooke, his brother. Why would Sam Cooke give his brother credit for a song he wrote? Because Sam was still under contract to his previous publisher.
Send me, I know you.
He didn't want them making money off his new success, So he put the song in his brother's name. A family secret, a way to protect his own earnings. It was clever, and it worked.
I know you thrill me.
But here's the consequence that nobody talks about. For the rest of his life and after his death, there's always been confusion about who really wrote Sam Cooke's biggest hit.
Send me, I know you.
His brother LC got credit he didn't deserve. The real story got buried in legal paperwork. And some people to this day think Sam Cooke's debut hit was a cover of his brother's song.
Send me, I know you.
Sam died in 1964 under circumstances that are still debated. He was 33 years old, and the legacy he left behind includes this footnote, a song that changed soul music forever, credited to the wrong person.
Now I find myself.
Sometimes the music industry doesn't steal from you. Sometimes you have to hide your own work just to survive it.
You and take you home. I know.
Number 1, the Isley Brothers, Twist and Shout, 1962.
The biggest songs.
And this one might surprise you. Twist and Shout, you know it. You've heard the Beatles version 1,000 times, but the version that made it a hit first, the Isley Brothers.
They started doing it, woo, woo. We was doing it, woo, shake it up, baby.
1962, number 17 on the pop chart. Number 2, R&B. The song was written by Phil Medley and Burt Burns. They wrote it for a group called The Top Notes. Phil Spector produced that first version. It flopped completely. Burt Burns was furious. He said Spector messed up the song, so he took it to the Isleys and produced it himself.
That was like a real hot song. We were like, wow.
The Isleys turned it into a gospel-fired explosion. Ronald Isley's voice pushing, wailing, building to that legendary crescendo.
Incursions of the, I mean, we were wow. And everybody would go wow.
It was perfect. Then the Beatles heard it, copied it almost note for note, put it on their debut album. And when people think of Twist and Shout today, they think of John Lennon. Now, technically, the Beatles didn't steal anything. They covered a song and paid the royalties. But culturally, something got erased. Paul McCartney admitted in interviews that they had no idea who wrote it. They thought it was an Isley Brothers original. The real writers, Medley and Burns, were invisible to them.
Shake it every time I shake your fanny, you know.
Burt Burns died in 1967, heart failure. He was 38 years old. He never saw his songs get the recognition they deserved. And the Isleys, they watched their arrangement become someone else's legacy. Their version got overshadowed by a cover. That's the pattern we've seen in every entry on this list. Black artists write the songs, create the sound, define the genre, and then someone else gets remembered, not because they stole in a court of law sense, but because history has a way of giving credit to the loudest voice, not the first one.